What's up, everybody? Matt Malatesta here. We're here with Coach Dom Daste of the Eastside Catholic Crusaders in the state of Washington. Coach, playoff week one is in the books. We got a blowout win. What went right during that game? And were you able to rest some guys? How did that play out for you last weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we treated Monday and Tuesday like a bye. We got the film late Tuesday night. I was actually at our freshman banquet and got a hold of the coach, and so we exchanged late Tuesday night, which made for a long Tuesday night for us as a coaching staff, and started putting stuff together. But we kind of, when we've been in these situations before, and so we kind of tend to strip everything down and go back to our fundamentals and make sure our kids understand what we're trying to get accomplished. For our offense, it was a little bit of a different front. We had to navigate. Our defense was decently comfortable with what they were doing on offense versus university, and so it wasn't us trying to reinvent the wheel, just trying to be really good at our basics and fundamentals so we could execute and the kids could execute at a high level. And so I was pleased, right? There was obviously, we're still fighting the penalty bug. We did have a couple turnovers that we need to address, but overall, our kids played hard. The effort was high, made some really great plays in terms of just pure effort and playing to our standard and our level.
That game was at home.
Yeah.
Now you have another playoff game at home, and that's against Southridge. How big is that to host a playoff game for y'all?
Yeah, it's always good, right? From the coach's standpoint, when you don't have to disrupt too much and we can kind of get into our comfort zone and get dressed in our locker room. There's no travel, and you kind of understand the lay of the land. It always helps. And so, that part I appreciate. There's less things moving or moving pieces when it comes to travel and stuff. So I'm excited to be at home. This will probably be our last one. We'll be at a neutral site moving forward, hopefully, if we can pull this one off. And so, but it's really nice to be at home. It was nice to be in front of our crowd, in front of our home fans and stuff. So it was a nice treat.
Give us the prospectus on the Southridge Suns. What do they do well? 6-4 team. Just talk about what they do well.
Yeah, I think the first thing that jumped out the film for me was their effort. They play really, really hard. They make up for something that maybe somebody takes a wrong step or they go in the wrong direction. There are 10, 11 guys flying to the ball. I can appreciate how hard they play, and I know what that entails to get your kids to do that. And so it's a big compliment, I guess, for those kids and those coaches. And then they make it hard, right? They are well coached in all aspects in terms of scheme and structure. And so it makes it a little hard for us to just go out and, just run our fundamentals. We have to kind of figure some things out and put our thinking caps on a little bit just to make sure we're sound and that we can be effective and move the ball or stop them, obviously, on defense.
Offensively, what do you think y'all have to do this week? I mean, y'all are putting up some points.
Yeah.
But is it the balance of your offense? What has made y'all successful, and what do you think is going to possibly work this upcoming week?
So I think it's a myriad of a bunch of things, right? And this is going to sound weird, but I think one of the things that makes us a really good offense is our defense. When you have the ability to cross the 50 and feel like it's okay to go forward on fourth down, or you're going to get stops, or you get great field position because your defense is 3 and out, it makes it pretty easy, right? And so it's a team game, and one affects the other. And our special teams put us in great situations on offense. But I think our ability to stay in front of the chains in terms of staying on schedule, not getting behind third and long or situations like that. And, we feel like if we can just stay on schedule, we have a chance, and we feel good about third manageable. But I think the short answer is us playing a team game. right? Our defense allows us to do some really good things on offense and take some chances and put ourselves in a situation if we do make a mistake on offense that our defense is gonna hold up their end of the bargain and stuff like that. So I think it's all interconnected. But in terms of offense, I think we have a bunch of guys playing well. We're getting a little bit healthier. We got Titan back this week, who had been going through some issues with the lower leg, and so we're going to get a couple other people back, and so we're excited. I think we're getting healthy at the right time and just kind of hitting our stride as we're entering through the playoffs in that bracket.
Well, here's the stat that really comes out. Y'all are outscoring opponents 353 to 55. That's 300-point differential over 9 games.
Yeah.
Which speaks to the defense. You're right. It does. It speaks to the defense because it's obviously a complementary game that y'all play. Talk about the defensive side of the ball. What just gets y'all going?
I think it's your kids are a little bit of a shadow of who you are. I put a lot of credit to our defensive coaches, our defensive coordinator, Wes, who you guys met early in the season, or as the kids call him, Coach Wheezy. And so I think he puts our kids in great positions to be successful, right? And so we obviously got some really talented people who play on our football team, and putting them in the right situation and making them understand situational football, making them understand tendencies and stuff like that all adds to it, right? I think there's a lot of teams with a lot of really good athletes, but our coaches, I believe, do a good job of making our kids understand what's coming, what's next, how to approach things based on situations down and distance, and taking the extra time to teach the very fundamentals and the basics so that we can perform at a high level.
With that differential, that means you haven't been in any super tight games. At 9-1, how do you prepare yourselves for those tight moments? Is it in practice? It's hard to simulate that, but does that give you some pause going into the playoff when you're playing some like opponents down the road?
The closest thing we've had is our loss to those guys across the water. And so it is. It's not that we're not tested. I do believe our team has been tested and they're ready for whatever comes their way. But we have not played a full 48-minute game in a long time, right? And so we've been fortunate, and that's part of us staying healthy, is that we get some younger kids some opportunities. But if we're going into a fourth quarter game where it's a overtime game, that kind of things, you hope you've conditioned well enough throughout the season and all those kinds of things. I think the football part of it is it is what it is. I think whether it be first or fourth quarter, our kids address the situation as it comes forward. You hope that your conditioning is great. You hope that, physically you can hold up and withstand a bunch of punches from another team.
I do love that answer. And I do love the fact that you don't call that team on the other side of the water.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll get back to him.
We're not going to mention that team. All right, well, Coach, good luck this week. Another big week, hosting at home. Round 2 of the postseason, win or go home. I'm feeling confident we're going to talk next week. Feeling confident.
I hope so.
Coach, good luck. Matt with VYPE, Coach Dom Daste of Eastside Catholic. Get out to the games this week.
Appreciate you, Matt.